I don't have to address His Excellency. I was thinking when I was trying to put up the speech this afternoon, what would I say? Your Excellency, or as usual that I said Uhuru? But I think that he was the President of Kenya, so I should have told him His Excellency. Rosemary Tan, EO Global Chair, Sridham Bhartam, who is the founding President of EO East Africa, 18 founding members on this side, over here, both sides, ladies and gentlemen. What is entrepreneurship? I've never been able to define. Is it a flair? Is it something you're born with? Or is it something you can go to school and learn? Or is it a sum total of common sense? Does success define entrepreneurship? Does failure define lack of entrepreneurship? Today, the entrepreneurship is being taught, and what is being taught? A way to think, a way to analyze. To me, it's a flair. It's a desire to create, an obsession, passion, strong desire to excel, a fire in the belly. This is what entrepreneurship is all about. There are some basic fundamentals that we must remember. First, the vision. I was very interested, somebody just talked about the Vision 2030, and I was one of the architects of that Vision 2030. And what made me to be a part and parcel of this and days of work is to see how do we make a space little longer than one government working for 5 years, another government coming for another 5 years, and each has got different intentions, different priorities. Instead, how can we just make it that the priority for a country, whether it's 5 years or 10 years, is fundamentally what we want to increase the capacity and the best livelihood of the people. And so we decided, how do we put it up to 5 terms of parliament? It was difficult to convince, but I think finally we got it convinced and we made that vision. So the vision is the most important part. Capacity to articulate vision into action. Vision, you can read a piece of paper, but then articulate that into action. To believe in one's own vision, that many a times you don't. And this is very important. To see beyond what is there to be happening. Ability to think out of the box. Ability to catch performers and take risks. And have strength to remain calm when things go wrong. To avoid macho leadership. And that's the very thing happens most of the time. The leaders become, in few days' time, they forget to stay around themselves. They're blinded. The macho leadership. Benchmark keys of success. And you must have a capacity to explore intelligent leadership within the group. That's what you're going to do. Within your own group, you're going to find who are the leaders who will guide for better tomorrow. To create an environment of shared value, trust, and consistency These are all individual words which are necessary for leadership. Readiness to accept mistakes. The most difficult one. I am wrong. I was wrong. That is the most difficult because it touches your ego. Ability to take decisions. Ability to take decisions and to believe in those decisions that you have taken. Not just believe. And the difference is not just believe, but truly believe in them. That's the difference. I believe, I just don't believe. I truly believe in it. All this involves strength of conviction. It's very difficult to cultivate that conviction that what you believe in and what you believe, you want to make it happen. The third important criteria is change. You must have a capacity to drive a change. Handling change effectively. Building skills to meet realities of constant change. Please remember, it's constant change. Life is not going to be there what you sent yesterday. It's going to be different tomorrow. And tomorrow's demand will be very different. So unless you believe in that there's a constant change, to take time to listen to others. Many a times we don't. To be able to change mindset of people. And to change the mindset of people takes lots of guts and lot of confirmation of yourself that what you say is what you want to happen. But at the same time to have an open mind. To look at things in different perspectives and bring new inputs. These are the idea about change. And change starts with you. It doesn't start changing other. It starts with you. The fourth criteria I would say is human factors. There is always a tendency to resist change. Ability to create a climate that change is welcome. Very difficult again. In your own organization, change is welcome. People enjoy what they do. And that's what it happens. That you get into a habit of doing what you are doing and you think that's the best you can do. Let them share the load. When the people are around with you, let them share the load and make the most of the available talent. Many a times, talent is something which is always, oh my God, how can he be that intelligent than me? That is one thing, criteria you should be out of your mind. There are many more intelligent people in the world. If you think you are the only one, that's the first fall that you get. Create team leaders. Plant ambitions in them. Team leaders means you get those guys and put ambitions. Fill it there with ambitions. That whatever they discuss is doable. It's not mere a talk. It's doable. Motivate them. Delegate them. To win others is not as simple as it is said. It's very difficult to win others. The minute you turn, the fellow will say, what in the hell? It takes a lot of planning. lot of effort, courage and capacity, and above all, a lot of humility. It's not that easy. It takes lot and lot of humility. Creating a collective leadership. What you're going to do is 18 of you, another 25 probably, another 35 probably. It's a collective leadership. Building a collective confidence. Ability to win hearts and minds of people. Clients, suppliers, and the members of the government. These are some qualities which are needed to be a successful entrepreneur. You may learn from school, but it must be within you. It can be cultivated. Nobody comes knowing everything. It's only the people that you see, the success that they've achieved. Those are what you should really imbibe and say, hey, how in hell this fellow is doing? Why can't I do it? And you put yourself in a spot, then and then a success is possible. Remember, the entrepreneurs are engine of growth. They are the hope of tomorrow. Don't call yourself that you are only a small group. There are groups within groups. These are the hope for tomorrow. They are creator of jobs and wealth. They help to increase the GDP of the countries. They have inbuilt capacity. Now, what do you mean by inbuilt capacity? It's not a capacity just to be planted. There's an inbuilt within yourself and within your own self that you can reflect and you can start analyzing. They can enlighten the bureaucracy, and this is the most important part and the most difficult part in Africa, is to enlighten the bureaucracy of government and local governments around us. And I wanted to say to Your Excellency, I would like you to note that, because that's not easy to accept. Now let me give you, these are the issues that how an entrepreneur is built. What is an entrepreneur? It does not have to have a Harvard degree. Yes, if you can get a better opportunity to learn better, to understand better, please. But it has to be within you to get somewhere. Let me tell you my own family's example. My own family, my father came into this country some 95 years back. Why he came to this country? Because there was a distance between here to here. It was not possible every day that the food will be on the table the way that we would expect. And that's what made him to say, how can I look after myself, my family, so that at least we have enough to eat? And not one. Many of the people in this room, their parents or their grandparents started just like that. All entrepreneurs dream, and all entrepreneurs dream something, to become somebody and to create something. And my father had a small dream. He had a dream that he would come, work few years over here, earn 4,000 rupees. Those days, currency in Kenya was rupees. It's up to 1923. After that, shillings became the currency. So he thought, if I can earn 4,000, then I'll go back. I'll set up a little shop in a little township and I'll look after my family. Look at the commitment. Nothing starts without commitment. And a goal. I wanted to earn 4,000. He came over here and he worked 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, 18 hours a day to work. From 6 in the morning, 12 at midnight. 3 meals at home of the owner. And at night, open the Americani, rolls, few blankets, and comes next morning 6 o'clock. It was hard work. At the end of 6 months, when he asked, what about me? He said, yes, your salary is going to be 20 rupees, 6 months, 120 rupees. His dream shattered. He couldn't think, at this rate, how am I going to make 4,000? Now that's the turning point. Would you accept it, the defeat, and walk away? Or you'll do something about it? And he said, nothing doing, I'm not going back, I'll work at it. And slowly, he started his own little business, and slowly did. He was never a rich man. But he remembered one thing. Because he had only 3 vernacular. He didn't understand English, couldn't write English, couldn't speak English. And this was the colonial days. But he remembered one thing, that if I want to change my children's lives, they must get education. And this was the start of education within my family. And many of them, your families. The same was run. And before long, we became graduates. From nothing that our parents sent us to become graduates of university. Some of us went to United States, did our masters, and came back. This takes a lot of commitment and a lot of desire to plant something and to make very sure that it grows. When we came back over here, it was a wonderful time that we had lost by the Second World War. The family had lost whatever little they had. And we had one plant, 40 people working in Mombasa. And 6 members of the family. 4 of us young people, 2 of my brother, and then my supervisor, I had 2 uncles. And we, every time, off and on, we kept on thinking, is this the life we want to live? Or why don't we just leave and join a company? I had a master's in engineering. I could be and before long I could be a managing director of a nice company. But when we were studying, it was Gandhian time, Quit India movement time. And we accepted the principle of Gandhian philosophy, ahimsa, non-violence, at the same time, do as much as you can. And I remember that for 4 years in my university time, I made my own little thread, gave it for weaving, and we cut the cloth, and we wore. And my whole wardrobe was 2 shirts, 2 pair of pants, 2 underwear, set of underwears, 1 socks, because you didn't require socks at that time. And if you don't spin on a daily basis, either in chakra or this way, you got to put patches on your clothes. The day when I left for United States, that's the first time I got my suits made, and I thought that So it gave us the time at that time that this man who came from South Africa and went around the world, whole of India, and said, no, I'm going to live it all. I want to serve this country. And thanks to him that we got the independence, not from only India, but many other countries after that. That single man with half loincloth decided to give everything with one conviction that yes, if we want to do it, we can do it. And that's why he made it happen. So we decided that no, we are not going to leave our family. We're going to set it up and we'll continue making it. And in first 5 years, we built from 40 to 500 people. It was hard work. 18 hours of work, no Saturdays, no Sundays, anything, yes, go and get it. That was the answer. And slowly, we decided that, okay, we're now grown to 800 people. And then we started again thinking. The people came along and asked us, hey, listen, man, every other country has become independent. Your products are very popular in all these countries, but each one will require the investments. It was a very tough decision. But we made it and said, no, we're a large family, 40 members, younger people. We sent a few of them out in Uganda, Ethiopia, Zambia, Belgium, Congo, Uganda, and in 5 years' time, we became an East African company. Sometimes it was tears in our eyes because it was not that easy. So everything is possible. And then we went overseas. Now today we are in 50 countries. What does it show? Human endeavor, hard work, trust and confidence, and a capacity to make sure that you want to keep on doing. At night when you wake up, you say, no, it can't do, it failed. Don't worry, next morning, get up, get going. Unless that kind of capacity you create, then and then you can make things happen. And that's how what we are today. Let me give you another example, is that how the entrepreneurial spirit, is it only in business or entrepreneurial spirit in every other things? It's in every other things. Every endeavor in life, you can apply entrepreneurship to improve what you're doing. How it can be done the best, and to get more and more people involved in enjoying the fruits of what you're doing. That's the basis of entrepreneurship. It can be done in the government, it can be done in private practice, it can be done in the clinics, it can be done in hospitals, it can be done in NGOs. Each requires a capacity of what I underlined earlier. Now, how do we make things come out of box? How do we make change in our life? And how the change affects businesses or your careers? It's only possible if the government, and to make the government help and understand, you got to go out and make very sure that the changes are taking place. And for that, again, you require time, effort, and tireless work. It cannot be done otherwise. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is, and this was a quote, there are many successful entrepreneurs in the world, and the people will be successful. And we have seen many thousands of them are very successful in life. Let me quote the dean of Kellogg School of Business, and now is the dean of INSEAD in France, Professor Deepak Jain. And he has to say this, I'm just quoting: from success to significance, or rather the journey from success to significance, because many of us are successful, but only a few are able to make, or rather get a chance to make a significant change in the world that we live in. That's the sum total. The success to be turned into significance. Unless you can change not your own life, not the people who work for you in life, but the people around you, that is the significance. That until then, you are successful, and please remember, there's nothing wrong to be successful, but you are not significant. Unless you change that, we cannot make a better world that we want to live in. This is the end of the quote. And I can still remember, this man was so humble that I couldn't think that how can he be at a very young age Dean of Business School in Kellogg and then become a Dean of NCR. We can make a change in life. Our own life, in a worker's life, in the society we live in life, the country that we live in. It's all a possibility. All we require is a determination. And the determination does not come just by reading a nice book and it's, oh my God, oh yes, I can. No. You got to live. You got to live that life to become somebody's significance. Now that's all the hard part of my discussion. But let me tell you another soft story now. There were two people, there are two friends. One was a 75-year-old man and a 74-year-old woman. Another was 80-year-old man and 79-year-old woman. And they were very close friends for years together. And all of a sudden, the 74-year-old woman dies. And I shall tell you that man was just miserable. He would not do anything, he would not get up, he would not attend to his business, he just like that. So this 80-year-old man said, hey man, what's the problem with you? This woman has lived with you for 50 years. You've enjoyed life with her, you've done everything that's nice. He said, that's right, but then that's what I'm missing. I said, listen man, you're 75, we all of us have to go down. Some today, some tomorrow. Come home, let's have a drink. So he comes home and says, darling, get me that black label that I got. And the darling goes and brings the black label. And says, honey, how can we drink without glasses, soda, and water? So honey goes back and brings the glasses, soda, and water. So that 80-year-old man says, hey, sweet, without ice, how can we drink? So the sweet goes back. At that time, the 75-year-old man, just like this, bucks up. He said, man, what's wrong with you? He said, what? What is this? Darling, honey, sweet. He said, to tell you truth, I've forgotten her name. So this evening, if I've forgotten your name, don't blame me. It's like me being old. And I wish you a happy initiation of your new EU. And please be what you call pilots to others. Help each other, hold each other, and make very sure that somebody might be down there. Don't push him down, pull him up. And that same way you'll be able to better yourself, your companies, your friends, and your association. Thank you so much.